In Australia, we have a whole bunch of laws to protect against workplace discrimination. The Racial Discrimination Act, the Sex Discrimination Act, the Disability Discrimination Act, the Age Discrimination Act, just to name a few. Plus, individual states have their own laws, such as Victoria's Equal Opportunity Act. With all these laws, one would think that discrimination is pretty much impossible in Australian workplaces, right? Well, here's one job ad on Australia's largest employment site, Seek, from Western Australia. Thanks to a viewer for sending this in. Cadet, Aboriginal and/or Torres Strait Islander and/or female. So Aboriginal people can apply, no matter what their gender, and females can apply, no matter what their ethnicity. So pretty much only white men need not apply. Well, non-Aboriginal men, I should say. Is this not discrimination? Of course it's discrimination, but despite all our laws, apparently discrimination is okay when it flows in one particular direction. In my opinion, this means our laws are either broken and/or stupid. Look, perhaps I'm being a bit harsh, but I'll look into the laws soon. But first, discrimination, the unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people, especially on the grounds of ethnicity, age, sex, or disability. This job ad, in my eyes, is certainly discriminatory in that it's treating particular people more favourably than others based purely on immutable characteristics. That is, characteristics that a person is born with and cannot change. Well, presumably cannot change, but that's becoming increasingly debatable as modern social progressiveness sets in. The person shown on screen is Roxanne Tickle, a transgender woman who last year won a significant legal case in Australia where she was found to have been unlawfully discriminated against based on her gender identity when she was barred from using a women-only social media app, with the judge ruling on its ordinary meaning sex is changeable. We're not talking about the difference between sex and gender, no. The immutable characteristic sex is now considered changeable in modern-day Australia. But why is this company doing this? You could probably guess. In an effort to promote the training, education and development of minority groups within the Australian maritime industry, an exciting opportunity to sponsor an aspiring Aboriginal and/or female seafarer. This is essentially Australia's version of affirmative action, promoting equal opportunity by being discriminatory. In the job ad, they state, the successful candidate will be required to demonstrate they identify as Australian, Aboriginal and/or Torres Strait Islander, and/or they identify as female. Not is female, identifies as female. How do you even demonstrate that? Could I walk in there and just say, I'm a female, and if they refuse to entertain the idea, I sue them for discrimination because sex is changeable? That'll teach them a nice woke lesson. Heck, I could just claim I'm male and sue them, couldn't I? According to the Fair Work Ombudsman, workplace discrimination occurs when an employer takes adverse action against an employee because of one of the listed attributes, race, colour, sex, etc., noting that political opinion is also a listed attribute. If you scroll down a bit, it states, it is also unlawful to refuse to hire a prospective employee based on one of the attributes listed above. So if they refuse to accept me because of me being a non-Aboriginal male, not only are they being discriminatory, they have broken the law, have they not? Well, this is where it gets tricky. At the bottom of the ad, they state, Go Offshore considers this advertisement to be a special measure under Section 51 of the Equal Opportunity Act, as well as listing other sections from other acts. Essentially, they're saying they can legally discriminate in this instance. This is the Equal Opportunity Act in question. Section 51, measures intended to achieve equality, basically states it is lawful to discriminate to ensure that persons of a particular race have equal opportunities. I would argue that everyone of any race in Australia already has equal opportunity to apply for this job. Nobody's saying minorities can't apply. But they are essentially saying that white males cannot apply for no other reason than their European heritage and XY chromosomes. Morally speaking, discrimination is still discrimination, even if they somehow label this as legal. They also mentioned the Sex Discrimination Act, Section 7D, which basically states the same sort of thing from a sex perspective, special measures to achieve equality, considering characteristics like sexual orientation, gender identity, and intersex status. Basically, as long as you're not a straight white male, you're legally allowed to be shown favouritism in the pursuit of equality. Religion also comes into play, at least in Victoria. In their Equal Opportunity Act, Section 12, regarding special measures, they give some examples of legal discrimination. For example, a swimming pool that is located in an area with a significant Muslim population holds women-only swimming sessions to enable Muslim women who cannot swim in mixed company to use the pool. To be fair, some of you might be thinking, this job ad is just a one-off. This type of discrimination is rarely needed. Well, after doing a quick search on Seek, Aboriginal Cultural Advisor male, team member female identified. Again, you just have to identify as a female. Female project officer called community. Not only must you be female, you must be from a culturally and linguistically diverse background. Aboriginal identified traineeship, noting these jobs aren't from last year, they're literally from minutes ago. Senior Aboriginal Practice Lead, 1 minute ago. Case Manager Female. Team Leader Female Identified. First Nations Specialist. Intake Drop-In Worker, Gayawa Rainbow, from yesterday, where they state it is a genuine occupational requirement that the person is an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander person and a member of the LGBT community. Anyway, you get the idea. Honestly, what's the point of all these discrimination laws? It seems like all these companies and groups who are so desperate to live in a world free from discrimination, paradoxically, are so eager to discriminate at every opportunity in order to achieve their so-called utopia.